And my name's Hayden again, and I've been actually on staff here at North Coast for the past 15 years. I came on right after high school, and then I've been attending North Coast my whole entire life. And so this is home. This is where I want to be home. This is where I want to raise my kids. I love this church, and I just love the mission that it has. So let me pray for us, and then we'll go ahead and talk about Lake Don Pedro. God, we thank you so much just for what we get to do here, and we get to talk about camp, just an amazing experience where we get to know you, and we get to experience community that is vastly different than what the world has to offer. God, may you bless this time, may you bless this meeting, and will you go before us to keep us safe and for us to have the best trip possible. We love you and pray all these things in your name. Amen. So we're going to a place called Lake Don Pedro. How many of you have ever heard of Lake Don Pedro? Exactly. Some of you are like, where are you taking my kids? It is a small lake. It is Reservoir Lake that is about 45 minutes east of Modesto. And some of you are like, what good can come from Modesto? Not a whole lot. If you're from Modesto, I apologize. There's nothing against you. But Lake Don Pedro is about 45 minutes east. It is actually a very beautiful lake that I have enjoyed going there the past 5 years. I've taken our high schoolers from our Carlsbad campus the past 5 years, and it's been an amazing experience where we get to go tubing, wakeboarding, some of the things that students just never get to experience except for at camp. And it is a very quiet lake, which is one of my favorite parts about it, is there's not a lot of traffic. It is pretty exclusive as far as there's not a lot of people who know about it, including a lot of you. This is maybe the first time you're hearing about Lake Don Pedro. So it's one of my favorite things, and I got to experience it when I was in high school, but we just went to Shasta, which is a little bit further away, and where our 11th, 12th grade ministry is going. So, but here's what camp looks like. Here's kind of camp in a nutshell. We leave next Monday. I don't know if you're ready for you to send your freshmen off for a whole 5 days, but you're leaving, or they're leaving, and we're leaving next Monday. We'll be here at 8 o'clock, and we're going to be meeting kind of over this way in front of the volleyball courts. We're driving 3 charter buses all the way up to Lake Don Pedro, where we'll be making one lunch stop, which we'll talk about a little bit more, and we'll be stopping for quick stop. We'll get back on the bus, and we should be arriving at Lake Don Pedro around 4 o'clock-ish, where we'll set up camp, and we'll stay at that location for the entirety of our entire week. And what your student will kind of experience when they're at Lake Don Pedro is we're actually the ones running the camp. So we're the ones cooking, we're the ones cleaning, we're the ones running the program. We have a lot of volunteers that are coming to be the boat drivers, to be the deckhands, to put on camp, which is honestly one of my favorite parts too, is because they're parents or they're grandparents now, because they've sent their kids through high school ministry and they got to take part, and they just keep coming back. And I'm amazed on how we make this camp run because of people that have attended North Coast, who've seen camps like this just make impact on students' lives. And so that's one of my favorite parts as well. But they're going to be running all of the boats, and we have 6 total, and there's going to be tubing, there's going to be wakeboarding, and it's awesome. It's absolutely incredible. But when we go each day, they're going to wake up, and we're going to do a service in the morning before it gets too hot. We'll go over the heat a little bit because I know some of you have some questions about that. But we'll do a Devo in the morning, and then after the Devo, we will get on a boat run. And there's 3 boat runs in the day. If you go ahead and look at your piece of paper, there is an itinerary a week at Lake Don Pedro, a week at a glance. And so there's a boat run, and then after the boat run, there's lunch, and then there's another boat run, and then there's a third one as well. Then there's dinner, there's worship, and there's life groups. How it works is your student is going to be at the camp, and then they're going to sign up for, do they want to go tubing or do they want to go wakeboarding, and it's entirely up to them. Some of you said, hey, my kid doesn't really like water that much. That's totally okay. We're not going to force them to go into the water. We're not going to force them to go on a tube or on a wakeboard. If they're like, hey, I don't know if I want to wakeboard, that's okay. You don't have to. If you just want to hang out on the boat, that's what my wife likes to do. She just likes to sit on the sun, just take in the suntan, not even get in the water. Great, that's awesome. You're more than welcome to join us just by going on the boat, and that's awesome. It's a fun experience, and you don't get to do that every single day in Southern California. So you're not forced to go on a boat run. Students that are back at camp, I love it, is because you're forced to kind of hang out with one another. I don't know about you, but one of the cool things, okay, I feel like a potty word, but like COVID, is like you were forced to hang out with your family. Like you're forced to spend time together. Some of you are like, it was too much time. I know, this camp's only 5 days, okay? So hopefully it's not too much time, but you're forced to hang out with one another because we have a big group site that it's only us. There's no other people that are allowed to come in and out. It's just us. And so we're all hanging out, and there's shade, and that shade, it becomes very popular, and that's where we play board games. That's where we talk. That's where we do life. And then there's quick trips to the lake when it gets too hot. You dip in and you jump out and you come back and you eat snacks and you just hang out. So that's what a week in a glance looks like at camp. I know I talk a little bit fast, but is there any questions of what that might look like? Or is there any questions about what we're going to be doing? Yes.
So when you say boat ride 1, 2, and 3, they sign up for one of those?
Yes, they will sign up for one of those a day. We can guarantee at least one, and some kids who are very ambitious and feel like they can go again and again and again, they'll probably go on 3. Because there's some kids that will probably get to day 3 and like, my arms are dying. Please don't send me on one. It's like, okay, you can give it up to Johnny, and Johnny will go 3 more times. So, it's a great question. Yeah.
How many boats are there?
There are 6 boats. 6 boats, and the boat drivers are all experienced drivers. Rick Felkins, he's one of them. He's been driving since I was in high school, which it's like a long, long time ago. I'm not going to tell you. And then there's also Bailey Acey. He's on staff here. There's Todd Bates, who's one of our leaders here. We also have Tom Harkins, who was also driving boats before my brothers were here on staff. And so, and that was also a very long time ago as well. So all experienced drivers that have done this trip and have done this trip with me for a long time. Great question, though. Yeah.
Obviously, they'll all wear life vests on the boat.
They actually do not have to wear life vest on the boat, but when they go in the water, they do. Yep, when they go on a tube, they will have to go on a tube or wakeboard, they will have to wear a life vest. But when they're on the boat, they do not. If they don't feel safe, and they're like, hey, I want to do it because it's my security blanket, more than welcome to. Yeah?
Are they good to bring their own life jackets, or do you prefer them not to? Just keep it simple?
Keep it simple, probably just leave it at home. We have plenty of life vests, and then also it gets mixed around, stuff like that. So, great question. Great question. Yeah?
You mentioned snacks. Is that supplied, or is there a store kind of included?
We are the camp store. So, we do not charge extra, but we have snacks. We provide all 3 meals, and there will be plenty of things to eat. So, we're lucky enough. We do this. It's cool that technology has come a long way. We have a 27-foot refrigerator truck that's going to be fully locked and loaded to feed. It's going to be about 200 of us at this campsite. So right now we have 133 kids. I don't know, it's probably growing as we speak. And then we have roughly around 50 adults going. Yeah. Oh, 2 ropes. There are times that we do that. And it has always been something that's safe for us in the past that we haven't experienced any accidents. And then we do bring helmets as well if a kid does want to wear that as well. And there are multiple kids that do go on tubes as well. Does that kind of answer your question? Okay. And then I saw one more hand. Yeah. Sure, you go. Yep.
Who handles the water safety aspect?
Who does the water safety aspect? All of our boat drivers are going to kind of go over the safety of the boat, safety of, hey, we don't jump off from this side. This is a prop that's exposed. If you step on it, you're going to cut yourself. If you do cut yourself, you're not going to be allowed to go back in the water just because you don't know infections, things like that. And then they're going to go over safety as far as jumping off the boat, where they jump off the boat, how do you get up, how do you make sure if you fall down, flag goes up, things like that. So all of our boat drivers are experienced. We have a great medic. His name is Robbie. He's actually gone over to 74 different camps here at North Coast. If you've ever been to Deseret, he is the guy who goes to Deseret and makes sure all of your husbands come home in one piece. So he's amazing. He's awesome. He's a fire captain for Encinitas. Good guy. Yeah. Yes, great question. I've never had to life flight a kid, so I don't know how long it would take, but there is a hospital that's 45 minutes away. So when we do have an accident, we've had a couple broken bones, we take them down to the ER, they get checked out, get x-rays, and then we've had that happen before. Ambulance-wise, there is safety on the lake. There's police officers down on the lake that will support you. If you call them, they'll come out and then they'll help you. If you need help, I don't know how long a helicopter would take to get there, and hopefully I never have to find out. But there is cell service. You can call, you can text, so it's not out of the question for them to come help you. I do know that. It's not like Whitewater where you have to get a satellite phone and dial up. Hopefully you can get some sort of reception. If you've done our 8th grade trip, it's a little different. So, does that answer your question?
Yeah, I just wanted, it was like in the middle of like how it's.
Yeah, Whitewater is like, I've done Whitewater over 10 times and it's not that secluded. So, I saw a couple other, these questions are great. Yeah.
Where did the children sleep?
That is a great question. They sleep under the stars just like camp. So the temperature here at Lake Don Pedro, it's upper 90s. That's one of the reasons why we're going the beginning of June. I know some of your kids, they got out last week. It's like, why are you going so early? One, because it's not going to be that hot. If you're from the Fresno area, hold on, sorry. My wife is currently 9 months pregnant, so I'm just making sure that she's not going into labor. Which also I should tell you, I'm planning on going to camp. And I have every intention of being there. But if my baby comes, I'm sorry, but I'm putting my kid before yours. But we do have an amazing pastor. His name's Travis Seibert. You may have heard him if you've been around North Coast before. He is a legend here. He's been on staff over 29 years, and he has ran, I would say 1,000 camps, but obviously that's not true. But I feel like he's around over 1,000 camps. So, yes. Yes, that is a great question. We have a videographer and we also have a photographer. They will both be posting those online. We have a website that we post all of our pictures on, and then once we have that link, we'll send it out to all the parents through the emails that we've been sending you with the updates of when our camp meeting is, when we're leaving, and then the video will also go out as well. Yeah.
You were just saying on the updates, is there a text message that we can register so that we can get those notifications?
Yes, there is. I actually am totally blanking on it right now, but we have a Remind app. If you're newer to NineTen and you have an incoming freshman, each year we create our own Remind, and that is simply just a text service where you text into basically an email list, and then we'll text out all of the information of what's happening on a Wednesday night, what's happening on a weekend, what's happening in a special event, and it's just a way of doing email just through text message. I don't have the exact information right now, but Charlene does, and I could get that, and I'll read it off to all of us. But that is a great question. Yes.
When the kids are not out on a boat group, what type of activities do they do?
Yes, that is another great question. So we'll have pickleball, we'll have spike ball. We put misters on our 9 square in the air so that when you're playing, you can get hit with a little bit of water. At night, it does get closer to like the 60s. It gets pretty cold at night, especially at this time of year. If you were to go in July and August, it's not as, cool at night. It's pretty hot. But so at night, when the sun starts to go down, I mean, some kids play tag, some kids play football, do what kids do, kind of a thing. But normally they're so tired, they're just chilling in their chairs, just hanging. Great question, though. Yeah?
Is the lakes, like, can they swim in it recreationally?
Yes, they can recreation swim. The lake is about a 5-minute walk from us. We do transport the kids in vehicles down, and then we drop them off at the boats. You can walk there, it just takes a little bit longer, and then down at the bottom of where our hills, our campground sits on top of a hill, and we have that whole entire hill, which is awesome. And then we kind of launch our boats down here. So they're more than welcome to walk down there at any point during the day. They just have to take a leader, or a leader has to be down there to watch them swim. So they have access to water throughout the entire day. Yeah.
Are they allowed to bring medications with them?
No medication. I'm just kidding. Yes, they are, of course. Yes, we do have medication. That's something that we'll go over. But my rule for medication is if you trust them, we trust them. If your student has a specific type of medication that you want to give to our camp medic, he's the one who administrates all of them. What he needs to know is he needs to have it in the original bottle that the pharmacy comes in, also with instructions of how it needs to be taken. Do they eat? Does it be on a full stomach? Things like that. So that he's aware if something does go wrong, he can administrate it and he can have just a better understanding of what's going on. Sorry, my sarcasm got me in trouble there.
If somebody does get hurt, is it their job to go with them to the hospital? Like, do you guys have like a plan amongst yourself if somebody does get hurt?
That is a great question. Do we have a plan if someone gets hurt? We do. What happens is normally if we have a person who gets hurt, we send 2 people to the hospital. We normally leave the medic unless it's something that's like a broken bone that would require somebody to hold it in place, or it's a very specific injury that he would have to go talk to the doctors about or talk to someone in the hospital about. But normally he stays back. We send 2 leaders. We'll obviously give you a phone call and say, hey, this is what happened. Here's what's going on. We just want to give you an update. We're going to take him to the hospital, get him checked out. Afterwards, when we hear from the doctor, we'll give you a phone call and we give you an update of what's happening. So 2 leaders always go with the student if there's ever an emergency. Sweet, these are great questions. So, yeah.
So besides the Remind app, I didn't see Wonderbo on here for anything like a specific contact. Can you contact somebody?
Say that again.
Besides the Remind,
Oh, contact information.
there's no number or anything on here? Is there a specific number or anything that we get besides the Remind that we could use in our emergency?
Yes. So you can always call the church, and the church has our number. You can also follow along on our Instagram, and then that is another way that you can follow along. But if you need to get a hold of us, like me specifically, let's say something happens, something goes on, I don't have my cell phone on here, but you're more than welcome to have it if you wanted it.
Okay, just because I didn't see it.
Yeah.
Something happens, home side weather.
Yes, we have a hotline here, and then if you call it, we'll immediately contact you and say, hey, can you give us a phone call? And then we'll be like, yes, of course. So I operate under the notion of, hey, no news is good news. I will call you if something happens, if something's going on, whether it's behavior or whether it's an accident or whether there's an emergency, we'll let you know as soon as we know something. But we like to keep it where we're not updating you, with every single detail of what's happening, what's going on. We do have a rule, which if you want to go ahead and go to the packing list so I can kind of update you a little bit about what the camp looks like. We do have a rule about no phones. And we actually ask all of the students not to bring their phone. In fact, that's a rule. And there's a couple of reasons why we do that. Number one is I believe one of the greatest things about camp or why we do camp is to get away, so that we can learn how to, not learn, but we can almost detox ourselves so we can connect with God, so we can see God maybe in a way that we haven't seen him in a long time. And I think one of the biggest distractions of that is our phones and just how our phones are completely distracting us from not just God, but also our relationships with others. And so we don't grab phones and take them away, but we say, hey, leave them at home. If we do see them, we say, hey, we're going to take that. We're going to put it in a box. After the end of the week, we're going to go ahead and give it back to you. If there's a specific request of hey, my son or daughter needs their phone, we've had kids with diabetes, we've had kids with certain just special cases, come talk to me. I'm not gonna be no, never, they're never allowed to have their phone. Unbelievable, how could you ask? Of course, I wanna hear your story, I wanna hear what's going on, but if your student's no, I just want TikTok, I'm gonna be okay. But we'll go over the packing list real fast. I've had a couple questions about this. So it's one medium-sized suitcase. When I say medium-sized suitcase, I mean one that's actually a medium. We have over 200 people that are going, and if we all bring one that we think we're going on a 2-week vacation to Europe, we're not gonna have enough space. So a medium-sized suitcase, one trash bag, where you're going to keep a sleeping bag, a pillow, a sleeping mat, or whatever you need to sleep on, you'd be surprised. Not every high school boy needs a sleeping bag. And you'd also be surprised that not every high school boy needs a sleeping bag. It's just a sheet. It's like, all right, you do you. But whatever they need to put in that sleeping bag, they can put in that sleeping bag. That trash bag. And then one carry-on, backpack, snacks, their wallet, anything they need as far as if they want to keep like their Bible and their notebook on the bus ride. It's just an easier, accessible backpack. And then also a camping chair. A camping chair doesn't have to fit in the medium-sized suitcase. Some of your students were stressed about that. No, if they can, that's going to be impressive, and I'm going to want to see that. But a camping chair is separate. We'll have enough space to fit a separate camping chair. So they need to bring a Bible, a notebook, a pen, clothes for 4 days. And when I mean 4 days, like I really honestly don't think they need more than 2 bathing suits. You're in the water, you're out the water. I mean, you dry off like that, and then you're hanging out at camp. Like you don't need to have jeans. I don't think you necessarily need more than 3 or 4 different t-shirts. Like you just need a bathing suit, and you're going to be wearing that multiple different times. You could wear it 2 to 3 times in a week. They don't need to pack a lot of clothes. There's also opportunities for them. I know a lot of them have been worried, like how many showers can I take? You could take as many showers as you want here, okay? We're not worried about water consumption. So if they do start to smell bad, we'll just say, hey, you've worn that bathing suit for 4 days in a row, go take a shower, thank you. But they don't need to bring a lot of clothes. As far as a bathing suit, for girls, just a modest one piece. One is, like, as far as practicality, it is so much more practical to wear one piece. They're going to be tubing. I mean, they're going to be going 20 miles per hour behind a boat. They skip across that water. The last thing you want is something to fly off. And so just for practical sake, a one piece is going to be so much better for them. Also, when it comes to their bathing suit, what they wear, is shorts is super like practical as well when you're on the water and when you're on the boat. I mean, the leather gets hot. It's going to be really warm when you get back on. You're going to sit down. It's going to burn your leg, and it's just going to be very uncomfortable. So I encourage, not that I've ever worn a one piece or board shorts like that, but I encourage that is something that works far better at this camp. Boys, just make sure you have a bathing suit that stays on. I have seen on special occasions where boys, just when they skip across the water, so does their bathing suit. So just make sure it has drawstrings, ties tight, and it can stay on. A hat, clothes to sleep in, sandals. They're allowed to wear sandals. They don't need to wear like athletic shoes. In fact, a lot of our boats ask that they take their shoes off. So it's not like whitewater where they need to have like water shoes to go onto the raft. No, they actually ask them to take it off. It's super easy. Put sandals, walk down there, say, hey, can you take your shoes off? You take your shoes off. They have a little, normally like underneath one of the seats, you just put all of your shoes in there. And then it's as easy as that. A lake towel and a shower towel, if they just want to bring one towel, go ahead. Toiletries, flashlight, waterproof sunblock, mosquito repellent, kitchen utensils. This is similar to whitewater if you've been with us at North Coast, but bring fork, knife, spoon, plate, and bowl. And then they're going to be cleaning it and reusing it the entire week. As far as a refillable water bottle, this is really, really important, is they need to be able to have a water bottle that is accessible at all times. And before they get onto a boat, they have to have their water bottle. And so if your student is the one who like loses their water bottle, that's me. I lose it all the time. Make sure they put a name on it. Make sure like they understand. It seems like all of us go to Target, right before camp, we all buy the same color Walla. It's just like, which one's mine? I don't know. So make sure they label it because they have to have it when they get onto a boat. It gets way too hot. You're on there for 2.5 hours. One of the biggest things that we fall into is not a kid fell off a wakeboard, a kid didn't hurt themselves on the tube run. It really is dehydration. That's the number one thing that we run into. It's dehydration, and it's something that can ruin a day, can ruin 2 days, and it's not that fun. So make sure they have sunscreen on and refillable water bottle. They'll need money for 2 stops. I put $25 there, and some of our students have allergies. We're stopping at Laval Road, which is a pretty stop. If you've gone on the 5 over the Grapevine, it's that first stop right there. And we'll have access to foods that will be easy for someone who's gluten-free, someone who's vegetarian, somebody who has dietary restrictions. There's plenty of different options for them to eat there. If your student does have a very specific dietary restrictions, please let us know. We know that some of you filled it up on the application. If you have concerns about food and what that looks like and how it's going to be consumed at camp, please come talk to us. We'd love to work with you. Our camp cook, his name is BJ. BJ's been around North Coast for a very long time. He's awesome. We want to make it as accommodating as possible so your kid gets to eat and gets to eat a lot of food, because that's something that we know is going to nourish them throughout the entire week so they can have a great week. So things not to bring: cell phones, gaming devices, fireworks, matches, lighters. If you're wondering why those things are on there, it's because they've all been brought to camp. Drugs, alcohol, weapons, and prank stuff. One of my big roles with our students is pranks just aren't going to fly at camp. It's a bummer, but anytime there's one prank, it has to be escalated, because if you're like me, you can't let it sit, right? You always got to get back at them. And then what happens is it goes from there, and then it goes again, and then it goes again, and then it just ends up ruining a kid's camp. So we just say no pranks, and we're not going to accept that. My biggest rule too is, hey, we have 4 different rules, and I think they're pretty simple. And this is where, if you can abide by these 4 rules, I think you're going to have a pretty great camp. Number 1, it's attend all meetings. It's 4 M's. Attend all meetings. Just, hey, if we have a chapel, if we have a Devo, if we have a service, we're going to ask you to be there. That's why you're at camp. We're not requiring everyone to be Christian. We're not requiring everyone to have the same belief that we have, but we're just going to ask you to participate, because that's why hopefully you came to camp. It's just to participate. The other thing is that you have to be at all meals. They have to eat. We encourage you to eat. Number 1, it's going to be beneficial. I think it's going to be great food. It's going to be amazing food. But also, in order for you to have a great week, if you're tired, if you're exhausted, if you have a stomach ache, it's going to be really hard for you to have a great experience at camp if you're not eating. The second one is modesty. Modesty isn't just the way that you dress, but it's also the way that you treat other people. And then that's just something that we're going to constantly drip in and hopefully encourage your students. And then the last M, which I'm totally blanking on it. It's on a sheet of paper. Mindfulness, which honestly is just respect. Do you have respect for the person next to you? Do you have the respect for our leaders? That's one of the easiest phone calls home, is when you don't respect students and when you don't respect leaders. We will respect your student. We'll honor your student the best that we can. But if there is ever a problem when it comes to respect, how they treat students, how they treat our staff, our volunteers, our boat drivers, that's something where, hey, we're going to call you. And I've never had to have this happen except for one time, but I don't want to have your student to call you to say, hey, Mom, this is what happened. Can you please come pick me up? And I'm actually not going to say, I'm going to say that you're going to have to come and get them. I'm not going to drive them down so that you can pick them up, because their behavior has caused them to be excused from camp. And so I don't think any of us want to make a 6-hour trip to get our student after that. So, but mindfulness tends to be the one issue that we have. So just remind your student, hey, this is someone else's boat. This is, thousands of dollars. There's a ton of acronyms of what boat stands for. You can look them up. But be mindful to your volunteers that have taken off their week vacation time in order to spend with you, so that they can ultimately help you learn about who God is and what God thinks of you and how you can have a relationship with Him. So, but other than that, there's a couple. I think that's it. Unless there's questions, there's 3 reminders I have. Is there any questions? Anything I didn't say, didn't cover? Yeah.
Hotline or something? Many of us probably just know the church number. That's not the hotline, I'm guessing. So is there a number you could tell us tonight what the hotline is, if we should really get in touch with you?
A hotline. Right now, the hotline is the church number. It's just 760-724-6700. That's the hotline that we have set up right now. If you call that, I believe it will get us in contact with somebody who knows how to get in contact with us. Yes. Yep. Good question. Yeah.
What's a camping chair?
Okay. Great question. Anything from what you've seen at Costco, Tommy Bahama, that's what I have, to Walmart, that's the $10 red chair that you just plop out. It's camping. It really is just something for them to sit in, to listen during the sermons, for them to hang out. for them to take to life group because there are no chairs. That is their chair. Something that can fold up, yes, that's great. If you do go to Costco, the Tommy Bahama ones are incredible. It's also funny is because some of you will go to Costco right after this, and then you'll buy all the same chairs, then we'll go to camp. It's like, which one's your chair? Put your name on it. But also, there's always that one, okay? And they bring the chair that's like the swingable one, you know, the hammock, you know what I'm talking about? And you see it at the beach right now. They're amazing. They're comfortable, but there's so much to carry. So something that folds up is highly recommended. Yes?
Can they bring like water guns and like those noodle floaty stuff, whatever, like toys?
Yeah. We do have floaties that they can bring down to the lake so they can chill. They don't have to swim the whole time. Water guns, if they want to bring a water gun, they're more than welcome to. One of those like sponges that like soaks up the water and sprays it, they're more than welcome to if they can fit it into the luggage. Totally. Yeah.
Did you just say you have floaties for that?
We do. We do have floaties. So there's an ice cream that you can float on. There's a watermelon you can sit in. I mean, just soak up the sun. It's a great time to relax. It's awesome. Sweet. And if you have any specific questions for me, come talk to me. I'm going to stay here. I believe program starts soon. I don't know exactly when. It starts in 15 minutes. But here's a couple of things I just want to let you know. One is if you have any questions about money, I know some of us have talked about money, but if you have any conversations that you need to have with myself or Shar, we would love to touch base with you if you have any questions about that. Permission slips, I think we're all good from permission slips. And then other than that, if you have any specific dietary restrictions, I'd love to hear and talk to you about that, or any medicine questions. You can also come see me afterwards. Unless you want to stay, or when you drop off your student on that Monday, you're more than welcome to talk to our camp medic there as well. He will be there tonight. He is not there. Yeah. It's on my phone? Wow, that's magic. I didn't get it. Oh no. It was a text. I haven't got it yet. Oh no. Oh, I got it. I got it. All right. If you want to take out your phone, if you're a freshman parent and you haven't signed up for a Remind, here's an easy way for you to get updates. You're going to text the number 81010. Did I say that right? Oh, okay. 81010, and then inside the text bubble, it's going to be @ class of 29P. Does that mean they're going to graduate 2029? That's depressing. Oh my gosh. It's just class of 29P, yes. All one word. That's for freshman parents. If you're sophomore parents, I have another one for you. It's @ class of 28P to 81010. No, you do not. This is all also for your benefit. If you're like, I hate getting spam, I totally understand. I apologize. You don't have to subscribe to them.
Well, like it tells you, hey, we're on our way back.
Yeah.
It's really good. I just didn't know if I needed to have that.
One for a sophomore, one for a freshman.
I know.
They're going to the same place.
It's
They're
the same
experiencing the same
Okay,
thing.
Thank you.
Yep, totally. Sweet. Well, there's one more thing I do want to just, since this is the beginning of the year, and is that, hey, we want your experience for your students every single Wednesday to be a safe experience, to be a experience with, you know, that when you drop them off, that they're going to be watched, they're going to be cared for, and they're going to experience what they came to experience, which is God, which is community, which is worship. And one way that I feel like we've done a great job of making that happen is that we have volunteers that are like you guys that come here, and then you're on our security team. And what that would entail was that you get to walk around campus, and then we have a couple of our security team right here. You get a really cool t-shirt, okay? And you get to wear a hat, and it's you just having a presence, and you walking around here on a Wednesday, and that's not every single Wednesday. It could be once a Wednesday in a month. It could be twice a Wednesday in a month. But it's simply just having a presence of having other students or other adults that we don't know what they're doing or why they're here, but it's just having a presence of knowing that, wow, there's somebody who's actually paying attention of who's coming on campus. And it makes our life 100 times easier because there's people like their life group leaders, the staff who they don't have to worry about that, but they just got to worry about how do they continue to serve your kid? How do they continue to pour into your kid when we have amazing adult and amazing parents like you who are keeping us safe? So if you're interested in doing that, and if you're interested in participating in that, come talk to myself. You can also talk to this lovely couple over here, and you can get more information on that because we need more help. Like we really do. We need more help to keep this campus safe. We have over, including 11, 12, and 9, 10, we have over right now 275 kids on this campus. So your help is needed and it is wanted. So if you have any more questions about that, come talk to me. But other than that, the last way that you can help is pray. Pray for safety, pray for a great time, pray for community, pray for God to work, and just pray for just a overall successful camp, because I truly believe that your prayers, just because you sent your student off and you got the week free, it doesn't mean that God's done working. It doesn't mean that your job is done as far as what God wants to do in your kid's life. And so we always welcome your prayer, and that is making a huge difference of what happens at camp. And I'm going to pray for us right now, and then I'll stick around, but you can leave if you're done. So God, we thank you so much just for who you are. God, we just thank you so much for just what you've done at camps that I've seen. God, how you've moved and you've worked in amazing ways. And God, I just ask that you do the same thing. God, I ask that you are able to make a difference in these students' lives, that you're able to work in their hearts